All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of Saber Sims DFS office hours. It is Monday, October 16th of 2023 here. On Mondays, we announce the winners of our weekly max challenge, so stay tuned for that. We'll get to that right after the intro, but for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at Saber Sims, the show where we go over how to use the Saber Sim app, answer any and all DFS-related questions. You get your questions in one of three ways here. First off, send us an email, support@sabersim.com. Second, post it live in the YouTube chat. Third way, post it in the office hours channel in our Discord server. If you're not in our Discord, want to get access to that channel, there is a link in the description of this video. You get access to our similar channels, individual sport channels, release notes channels, where we let you guys know about bug fixes and new updates to the app here. So get in the Discord, great place to be to talk DFS, to get better as a DFS player. But with that said, let's get our max challenge giveaway going here. So if you guys haven't been participating, you guys can still participate. You can still sign up. The link to this page is in the description of this video. The max challenge is a giveaway promotion that we do for free during the NFL season here. Get access to weekly prizes, season-long prizes. All you have to do, use the SaberSim logo as your avatar on DraftKings, fill out our short form, and then max enter one of the DraftKings mini max contests on an NFL Sunday main slate. But that is it. So first off, to announce the winner for this week, which is found on this Google page here, which is available to everybody. It's pinned in the office hours channel. I posted a link to it today. But our winner this week for highest score was BoneDog84 with a 14th place for 206.68 points. Wanted to give a shout out to Dice Hawk, an honorable mention here in a 15th place with 206.66 points. So you guys were neck and neck. Bone Dog just edged out Dice Hawk there, but congratulations, Bone Dog. You will be getting a SaberSim hoodie and an entry into our end of the season $5,000 free roll here. And then for our random entrant, our one person who is going to win a free entry into next week's contest, we will jump over to our wheel of names here. We had 212 people participate in this week's max challenge here. So I'm going to hit shuffle a couple of times here, and then we are going to spin to see who gets free entry into next week's contest here. So I'm going to make a note for myself here of our winner, and that is Edub 1976. Congratulations, Edub. Our support team will reach out to you, let you know that you have won. We'll also reach out to Bone Dog as well. Thank you, everybody, for participating. I look forward to another strong week of participants for week 7 NFL Max Challenge here. But with that said, going to get SaberSim pulled up here, and we are going to jump right in. So let me get some of this closed down here. And then looking ahead to today, we have a 2-game MLB slate here, playoff slate, getting our next round. I believe it's the ALCS, NLCS started today, so that should be a fun day. And then we have Monday Night Football between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chargers. And then I believe that we also have some NHL going on with a 5-game main slate. So 3 sports of action coming at you today. So let's jump right into the questions here. I'm going to navigate over to our NFL showdown here, probably like the most common thing to talk about here. And then just looking through some of the questions here. Looks like we had 2 questions to get us started. So if you guys have any questions, now is a great time to get those in. But this is one that I answered for Average Tuesday, and I believe Matt jumped in as well, but I just wanted to cover this for everybody here. So question says, on yesterday's office hours, you answered a question about contest sims of fields smaller than 5,000. A 100 entry contest was the example. You made it sound like a different randomly selected field of 100 is being used for each sim of the contest, as in up to 100,000 potentially different versions of 100 entry fields. Is that actually what's happening, or is a single randomly selected field of 100 being used for all 100,000 contest sims? So I think this is a great clarification here. So as you guys know, we have a set of field lineups. We have different sets of field lineups for the classic slates, right? So up to 13 different sets. I actually released a video earlier today. If you guys haven't seen that yet, if you guys missed that, we're doing a new kind of series on the YouTube channel, just really talking about contest sims and contest sim dynamics here. So one of those videos went live earlier today. If you click into the understanding contest sims, we have this field lineups explained here. This is the video that I released earlier today. We had Jordan release a video on Friday. WTF is a DFS contest sim. And then we have some of this other content here around contest sim. So all of that is to just kind of help people understand what it is, understand how to use it, and start transitioning towards it. So this Field Lineups Explains is our newest video here. So getting back to this, right? We have 5,000 field lineups for a single set. And then if your contest is less entries than 5,000, what we're going to do is randomly sample the 5,000 each and every time we run the contest sim. So if you have a 100-person contest, in contest sim 1, we're going to randomly grab 100 lineups. In contest sim 2, we're going to randomly grab a new set of 100. Some of those could be reused, some of those could be different, but either way, we're grabbing a different combination of 100 lineups from the 5,000 each time you run the contest sim. So we are not grabbing 100 and then using that 100 over 100,000 times every time we run it. We are constantly grabbing new sets of 100. So very good clarification there. Just want to kind of drive that home that we are using different set of 100 field lineups each and every time if your contest size is 100, if it's less than 5,000. So very good clarification there. Average Tuesday, and happy to talk about that one further. All right, next question here in the office hours channel. This is our last question at the moment, everybody. Question says, if a player is over-owned, is it most profitable to fade completely going into the weekend? Most are pretty clearly a good play, showing up in around 30% of optimals, and it ended up 50% owned. In those situations, are you trying to fade the player to get leverage, or setting your exposure to what you think the probability he is optimal? Okay, hey, this is a really good question. So earlier today, I recorded our week 6 main slate review with Max Steinberg. That video will probably be up tomorrow here. We'll see if I'm able to get to it today. But this was a topic that we talked about, right? Mostert predicted like 25 to 35% ownership, ended up coming in 55% owned in the large field milli maker here. So how does that grade out in the sims? How does that grade out overall here, right? And so we discussed that a ton here. So I'll obviously answer this question, but if you guys haven't been keeping up with them under this Coach's Corner playlist, we've been doing weekly NFL main slate reviews. We have the first 5 weeks up here. Week 6 will be up tomorrow here. So check that out when that video drops here, and listen to Max's thoughts. Max is super sharp, been playing DFS a long time at very high stakes there. So I love hearing his opinion on these topics. So, definitely some discussion in that video around that. But in general, right, I don't think you need to basically decide, hey, am I all in, or hey, am I all out, right? I always say that the most neutral thing that you can do is match the player's ownership, right? In this case, the field reacted very heavily to Achin being out and Mostert having the backfield to himself. So that really just drove ownership like above and beyond what the industry thought he was going to be owned at. And he had a monster game, right? So you kind of needed him to win. If you faded him, probably a very bad day for you, but that's okay, right? I would say that like the highest leverage thing you can do in this situation is not figure out, hey, do I want to play this player or do I not? The highest like value thing you can do is say, hey, do I think that narrative is going to drive this ownership to be more than what it is? And then if you can give the builder more accurate inputs to a player like this in a situation like this, then that's going to help the builder to make better decisions about what is good for your lineup set and what is not, right? So with more accurate inputs, that's going to help the builder to have better contest sims. And then I'm actually releasing a video on Friday here talking about how to work in custom ownership with your contest sims and how to basically marry the two and bring that all together, right? So a lot of content around contest sims, a lot of content around ownership projections and adjustments there. So I don't think that you have to do any one of those very all in, all out type of decisions. You can find a middle ground, and we saw that in our contest review. So be on the lookout for that video coming out tomorrow. All right. AK said, or I'm sorry, one more question in the Discord here, and then we'll jump over to the YouTube chat. Question from Ruck. Question said, when favoriting lineups, will it dupe lineups from various builds in the lineup tab? So no, it's not supposed to, but there is a bug at the moment. So basically what can happen is that the favorites tab is supposed to stop duplicates from going into the favorites. But the problem is that let's say you have two lineups that are the same exact players. Like maybe you have Tyreek Hill as a receiver in one lineup, but in the other lineup, you have the same group of players, but instead of Tyreek Hill being in the wide receiver slot, he's actually in the flex. So the builder is treating those as two different lineups at the moment. It is a known bug, and the team is working on fixing it there. So I don't believe a fix has been out yet, but just so you know, favorites is supposed to stop dupes from going into the favorites. But right now with the lineup ordering, we have to build in some additional logic to prevent from that. So if the players are exactly the same in two different builds, like ordered, then it will prevent it. But team is working on enhancing that feature. But good question. All right. AK said, hi, Andrew. I may have missed this answer in a previous office hours, but is there a way to save our player tab preferences so that, for example, exposure is always appearing next to name? I know we can copy and that will carry on the same preferences, but I'd rather save settings saved that will appear the same for each slate. If not, this would be a great addition for customization. Thanks. Yeah, no. So really good point here. Right now, what we're talking about, for anybody confused, is like, hey, you know, maybe I want my min exposure column next to my name. Maybe I want to see, you know, certain columns in certain places, right? Right now, the builder is not saving that slate to slate. That is something that we want to add to the builder here. So happy to take it down as a feature request here and call it saved columns. But definitely something I would like to see myself here. So I know the team is aware of it. I know the team is that is a feature request that comes in often. So the more times these requests comes in, the easier it is for me to push to get features prioritized, basically. So thank you for the feature requests. Always happy to take those back to the team if anybody has them. But all right, we are caught up on questions here at the moment. So if anybody has any questions that they want to get asked, now is a great time to do that. I'm happy to stick around for a couple of minutes and wait for those requests to come in. And then just so you guys know, huge content push here, right? We're making a big content push with the contest sim video Friday, with the contest sim video today. We have the contest review tomorrow. I have another contest sim video that I'm going to be releasing on Friday here, right? So be on the lookout for all of those things. If you guys don't have notifications on the YouTube channel, you can turn notifications on to get notified when our videos go live. That way you do not miss a single video there. So wanted to mention that. All right, a couple more questions here. And this one is from Ruck. Happy to talk about this. Question says, when you manually change an exposure to a player post-build, the other players who were affected by that removed exposure get highlighted, and it shows how many lineups they were added to or from. Wish post-build lineup rules, example, remove 20% of exposure from player X and replace that 20% of exposure with player Y. And Z, there are a couple of feature requests. Curious your thoughts. So these ones are particularly hard, where it's like, hey, apply this rule to 20% of my lineup here. So usually what a rule does, it's like, hey, always do this thing. It's very hard to have rules that are like a percentage of your lineup, right? So that's where it gets a little tricky here. This is like a great case, and I know you already asked about favorites, so it sounds like you're utilizing this feature already, but for others who have similar thoughts here, this is where favorites comes into play, right? Say you have to build 100 lineups and you want 20% of your lineups in a very particular way. What I would do is open up a second build, set your rule that you want, and then just take 20 lineups in the my lineup slot and then send those to the favorites, and then do the other 80 lineups in a separate build without that rule, right? So I think that, the favorites is great because I don't know if it's possible to build these, hey, apply this rule to 20% of my lineups, and then that's going to get applied to your pool of lineups. But then how do you say I want that specific thing also in 20% of the lineups that I'm viewing out of my 100 if they were all grouped together, right? So I think that using different build tabs and using different rules and then using the favorites is actually kind of easier for my mind to comprehend, because I don't know how you, from a set of 100, I don't know how you single out those 20 that have this one specific feature with them, right? So that's one thing that I'm thinking about here. All right, question from one more question here in the office hours chat. Question says, can someone please tell me how to make a rule no tight end in the flex, please? Yes, we actually have a tutorial on this. So if you go to the top right-hand corner, you go to help. This will open up our support library. And then if you scroll down to frequently asked questions, go to view more, take you to our library here. We have this article, how to control what players and positions are used in the flex here. And then if you open this up, it's a 2-minute tutorial. This will take you just a second to get through here. So I will send this to you in the Discord. But for anybody else who wants to do that here, this will show you how. It's a pretty simple tutorial and gives you, I believe, 2 options here as to how to do that. All right, question from Neil. Are we going to get an NBA video prior to start of the year? Kind of would like to see an updated one with the contest sim. So yes, we're actually working on some pretty cool features focused around NBA. I know NBA starts in 8 days here, so a week from tomorrow. So we will definitely have a built-out contest sim playlist for NBA, talking about all of those things, talking about late swap. So more information to come on that. I think you guys are going to be really excited with the changes and updates that we have set up for that. All right, Shane said, would you recommend removing players you know you absolutely do not want to play pre-build and building your pool without those, or run a default and remove post-build? So for a slate like a large field slate, I think it's totally fine to do this pre-build here. That's just going to give you more lineups with the players that you want and you want to see. So if you know, like, hey, I'm absolutely not playing this guy, I think for all slates here, showdown, classic, whatever it is, just get rid of that player. You don't want to play them. You're still going to get good lineups. And I would be comfortable with getting more lineups in my pool that I want to see to give me more optionality to sift through with max exposures and minimum exposures and all of those type of things. So if you absolutely do not want to play somebody, just get rid of them up front. That way you do not have to worry about it. But really good question there. All right, everybody, I think we're going to call it today. We'll be right back here tomorrow, Tuesday, for our next show, 2 p.m. Eastern, as always. Congrats one more time to Bone Dog and Edub. Our support team will be reaching out to you, letting you know that you guys are the winners for this week's Max Challenge here. And one more question here from Ruck. And I'm happy. It looks like I misunderstood it the first time, so sorry about that. I don't think I put that thought together very well for you to understand. That's my bad. I was talking about post-build lineup rules as a future feature for SaberSim. Remove 20% of exposure. Okay, so we're talking about like player combinations, right? I've seen a similar request like, hey, I basically want like the advanced stacking rules like as post-build rules. So something along these lines here. I'm happy to take this back to the team and let the team know about this as well. So I will look into this. I will digest this a little better off stream here, and then I will properly get that transferred over to the team as a feature request. So definitely can do that for you guys. But until tomorrow, guys, take care. Good luck. Enjoy some DFS tonight, and I will see you all. Thanks. Bye.